Every society faces a fundamental economic problem: scarcity. Scarcity means that resources are limited, but our wants and needs are virtually endless. Because of this, we must make choices about how to allocate our resources. This challenge is at the heart of economics and affects individuals, businesses, and governments alike. Whether it's time, money, or materials, we constantly face decisions about what to use, what to save, and what to give up. Understanding scarcity is the first step in grasping why economics matters and how it shapes our daily lives. Scarcity isn't just about not having enough money. It's about having limited resources, like land, labor, and capital, while facing unlimited wants. This means we can't have everything we desire, so we must prioritize. For example, a farmer may have to choose between planting wheat or corn because there's only so much land available. This simple fact drives all economic activity and forces us to make tough decisions every day. Whenever we make a choice, we face an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that we give up when we make a decision. For instance, if you spend an hour studying economics, the opportunity cost might be the hour you could have spent with friends. Recognizing opportunity costs helps us make better decisions by weighing what we sacrifice against what we gain. Trade-offs are everywhere. When resources are scarce, choosing one thing often means giving up another. Imagine a government deciding whether to spend money on healthcare or education. Each choice comes with benefits and sacrifices. Understanding trade-offs is crucial for making informed decisions both personally and on a larger scale. Production Possibility Frontier, or PPF, is a key concept in economics. It's a curve that shows the maximum possible output combinations of two goods or services that can be produced with available resources and technology. The PPF helps us visualize trade-offs and opportunity costs, making it easier to understand the limits of production. Imagine a simple economy that produces only two goods: cars and computers. The PPF is drawn by plotting all possible combinations of cars and computers that can be made with existing resources. Points on the curve represent efficient production, while points inside the curve show underutilized resources. Points outside the curve are unattainable with current resources. Operating on the PPF means using all resources efficiently. If an economy is producing at a point on the curve, it can't make more of one good without making less of another. This is called productive efficiency. It's the best use of resources given current technology and inputs. If production is inside the PPF, resources are not being used to their full potential. This could be due to unemployment, underemployment, or inefficiency. It means the economy could produce more of both goods without sacrificing anything, simply by better utilizing its resources. Economic growth shifts the PPF outward. This means the economy can produce more of both goods than before. Growth can come from new technology, more resources, or better education and training. When the PPF expands, it reflects an increase in a country's productive capacity. PPF illustrates opportunity cost visually. Moving along the curve, producing more of one good means producing less of another. The slope of the PPF shows the opportunity cost of shifting resources from one product to another. This helps us see the real trade-offs involved in production decisions. Sometimes, the opportunity cost remains constant as we shift resources between goods. This happens when resources are equally suited for both products. But often, opportunity cost increases as we produce more of one good because resources are better suited for one use than another. This makes the PPF curve bow outward. A classic example of the PPF is the choice between producing guns, military goods, and butter, consumer goods. If a country spends more on defense, it has less to spend on food and other necessities. The PPF shows the trade-off between these choices, highlighting the opportunity cost of prioritizing one over the other. Individuals face scarcity and opportunity cost in daily life. For example, choosing to buy a new phone might mean giving up a vacation. Every purchase or time commitment involves weighing alternatives and considering what must be sacrificed. This personal decision-making process mirrors the larger economic choices faced by societies. Businesses also deal with scarcity and opportunity cost. A company might have to decide whether to invest in new equipment or hire more workers. Each option has potential benefits and costs. By analyzing opportunity costs, businesses aim to use their resources in the most profitable way. Governments must allocate limited resources among competing needs, such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. Each choice involves opportunity costs and trade-offs. Policymakers use economic analysis to decide how to best serve the public with the resources available. Natural resources like water, oil, and minerals are limited. As populations grow and economies develop, the pressure on these resources increases. Scarcity forces us to consider how to use them wisely and sustainably, balancing current needs with future generations. Human resources, such as skilled workers and labor, are also scarce. Training and education can help increase the supply, but there are always limits. Societies must decide how to best use their workforce to achieve economic goals. Capital includes tools, machines, and buildings used to produce goods and services. Since capital is limited, businesses must choose how to invest it for the greatest return. This often involves tough decisions about expansion, innovation, or maintenance. Scarcity often drives innovation. When resources are limited, people find creative ways to do more with less. This can lead to new technologies, improved processes, and better products. Innovation helps societies overcome some of the challenges posed by scarcity. Scarcity affects prices in the market. When a good or service is scarce, its price tends to rise. Higher prices signal producers to supply more and consumers to use less. This is how markets help allocate scarce resources efficiently. Because resources are limited, prioritization is essential. Individuals, businesses, and governments must decide what is most important and allocate resources accordingly. This process involves setting goals, evaluating alternatives, and making trade-offs. Sustainability is about meeting current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. Scarcity makes sustainability a key concern, especially for natural resources. Sustainable practices help ensure that resources remain available over the long term. Different economic systems, like capitalism, socialism, and mixed economies, address scarcity in different ways. Each system has its own method for deciding how resources are allocated and who gets what. Understanding these systems helps explain why countries make different economic choices. Scarcity encourages specialization. By focusing on producing what they do best, individuals and countries can trade for what they lack. Specialization increases efficiency and allows for greater overall production, even when resources are limited. Trade allows countries to overcome some of the limitations of scarcity. By exchanging goods and services, nations can access resources they lack and specialize in what they do best. This leads to higher standards of living and more efficient use of global resources. Scarcity isn't just about today's choices, it also affects decisions about the future. Saving money, investing in education, or conserving resources all involve thinking about long-term opportunity costs and benefits. Making choices under scarcity often involves risk. We can't predict the future perfectly, so every decision carries some uncertainty. Understanding risk helps individuals and organizations make better choices in the face of limited resources. Scarcity gives things value. The rarer a resource or product, the more valuable it tends to be. This principle explains why diamonds are more expensive than water, even though water is essential for life. Value is shaped by both scarcity and demand. Utility is the satisfaction or benefit we get from consuming goods and services. Scarcity forces us to choose the combination of goods that gives us the most utility. This is why we make trade-offs and prioritize certain things over others. Marginal analysis involves comparing the additional benefits and costs of a decision. Scarcity makes this analysis important as we want to get the most out of each resource. By thinking at the margin, we can make smarter choices about how to use what we have. Resource allocation is about deciding who gets what. Scarcity means not everyone can have everything they want, so societies develop systems like markets or government planning to distribute resources. The goal is to allocate resources as efficiently and fairly as possible. Incentives are rewards or penalties that influence our choices. Scarcity makes incentives powerful tools for guiding behavior. For example, higher prices encourage conservation while subsidies can promote production. Understanding incentives helps explain how people respond to scarcity. Scarcity leads to competition. When resources are limited, individuals and organizations compete to get what they need. Competition can drive innovation and efficiency, but it can also create conflict and inequality. Equity is about fairness in the distribution of resources. Scarcity makes achieving equity challenging as not everyone can have everything they want. Societies must balance efficiency with fairness to ensure that resources are shared in a just way. Policymakers face tough choices because of scarcity. Every policy decision involves trade-offs and opportunity costs. By understanding these concepts, leaders can make better decisions for the public good. Economic growth helps reduce the impact of scarcity by increasing the amount of goods and services available. Growth comes from innovation, investment, and better use of resources. However, growth has limits and scarcity will always be a part of economic life. Using scarce resources can have environmental consequences. Overuse of natural resources can lead to pollution, habitat loss, and climate change. Balancing economic needs with environmental protection is a key challenge for modern societies. Globalization connects economies around the world, allowing countries to trade resources and goods. This can help reduce scarcity in some areas, but it can also create new challenges such as competition for limited resources and environmental concerns. Technological advances can help overcome scarcity by making resources go further or creating new alternatives. For example, renewable energy technologies reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Technology is a powerful tool for addressing the challenges of scarcity. Societies must make collective choices about how to use scarce resources. These decisions reflect values, priorities, and trade-offs. Debates about healthcare, education, and the environment all stem from the fundamental problem of scarcity. Economists use models like the PPF to simplify and analyze the effects of scarcity. These models help us understand complex real-world situations and predict the outcomes of different choices. While models are simplifications, they are valuable tools for decision-making. Ethical considerations play a role in how we deal with scarcity. Decisions about who gets what, how resources are used, and what is prioritized often involve moral judgments. Ethics helps guide choices in situations where not everyone can have everything they want. On a personal level, scarcity affects how we manage money, time, and other resources. Budgeting, saving, and investing are all ways to deal with limited resources and make the most of what we have. Good financial decisions depend on understanding opportunity cost and trade-offs. Scarcity shapes our well-being by influencing what we can afford, how we spend our time, and the quality of life we enjoy. Making wise choices about scarce resources can improve happiness and satisfaction both individually and collectively. Scarcity is the foundation of economics, shaping every choice we make. By understanding opportunity cost, trade-offs, and the production possibility frontier, we can make better decisions as individuals, businesses, and societies. Economics gives us the tools to navigate a world of limited resources and unlimited wants, helping us achieve our goals and improve our well-being.